Finally, our Mayor Roger Byrne from Vernon Hills. And he has, I know he's got a lot of updates because there's a lot of things going on in Vernon Hills. So Roger, thanks for being with us.
Okay. Thanks, Scott. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, but some of the developments I'm going to talk about, there's websites. But I'd like to say thanks to the GLMV and Scott Adams for putting this on today. I'd also like to congratulate all the mayors, especially Mayor Lentz. It was a squeaker. We all had contested elections, and we're probably all glad they're over. But with that said, I want to recognize we have staff here: John Calmer, our village manager, Joe Carey, what are you, assistant village manager? No, economic development or something. We got Mike Atkinson here. We got our deputy police chief, Rick Davies, Dave Brown, engineer, head of the public works department, Chief Mark Fleshauer, great chief. He's been with us at least 17 years and he's retiring. So if everybody wants to give him a hand of applause, that would be great. He's brought a great deal of professionalism to the department and also a lot of credibility. Melody Farms. Melody Farms has started, it's at 60 and 21. It's 270,000 square feet of retail at some point in time. It's about a $200 million development, and it includes also 265 upscale apartments. We just floated a TIF bond last night for $20 million, so we hope the hell it comes to fruition. We got another TIF district in town, and we're trying to get that one paid off. So going into TIF districts, I think we did honestly learn, though, a lot from the TIF district at 45 and 21. And that's finally, I think, going to be finished with an 80-unit high-end apartment. So thank you.
Thanks, Roger, so much, and thanks to all of our officials today for being here. We truly have amazing communities, and it wouldn't be through the cooperative work of everybody that's here. Now, if you have questions, get them to Carol, and we'll start that process. This first question is for Mayor Lentz. What steps are in place to attract and replace businesses in Mundelein?
Attract and replace. The question being what businesses or what steps are in place to attract businesses to Mundelein. We have an innovative incentive program. We call it the Business Incentive Grant Program, BIG for short. And it pretty much puts everything on the table. There's a grant portion that will help businesses move into Mundelein, and we will help them with their facade, their landscaping, anything on the exterior, or current businesses that want to enhance their signs or their landscaping or facades. And then for businesses moving in, the ordinance also includes putting everything on the table: sales tax incentives, even property tax incentives if it's warranted. But we will discuss all of that, and so we are open for business in terms of our big incentive program.
Okay, thank you. This one is actually marked for all four communities. It says, what can we do to work more cooperatively to conserve our costs on delivering services?
Well, I'll start that since I'm sitting right next to Steve, and we can answer that together. We both just signed an intergovernmental agreement to look at a study. If you're aware of it, of course, most people aren't, since most people don't know where their sewage goes, but right. Libertyville has a sewage treatment plant down on Milwaukee Avenue at the Des Plaines River, and Mundelein has one on the other side of the road, and we are now doing a study to see how these facilities can be combined. We're looking to do as much as possible on combining services so that we can save money for our residents. So I think that's just one example that I can bring up.
And then also our fire departments are endeavoring to, use some of the, share some equipment as well. So we've been dialoguing with that, for a better part of a year now along those lines. And so we're pleased to pursue all avenues of sharing services, sharing equipment.
And we also we did do consolidation with Vernon Hills on our 911 and police and fire dispatch. So we worked with Vernon Hills on that.
But yeah, I was just going to bring that one up, but I think there's 3 communities and 3 fire departments or districts that are, we've been doing that now for, I don't know, what is it, 10 years. We've been doing it 10 years. And it's a good thing for the whole area. So I would think, we certainly should consider the consolidation of dispatch centers. And working with the other communities, of course, the fire departments work with each other. There's all types of reciprocal agreements, and there's backup too with the police departments. If there's a situation that's, that needs help, our officers, first responders in general respond. But, at some point in time, you probably need to consolidate, maybe some of the smaller towns into the towns that are near those communities. I mean, like, I could think of like a Kildare or a Hawthorne Woods or Long Grove, and maybe that'll happen sometime, and, there's a lot of talk about the townships, being, I guess consolidated or in some instances eliminated, and maybe that'll come fruition to fruition, as the years go by here. But we only have 3,300 taxing bodies in the state of Illinois, or is it 7,000? Sometimes I lose track. Yeah, was it 7,000? Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's a lot of that. We would need help from the state legislature, and I don't know if that's in their stream of consciousness. Anyway.
Just real quick, I appreciate Roger's comments, but we do belong to the Lake County Municipal League, and they have competitive sourcing for a lot of roads and salt and striping of roads and all kinds of contractors that they competitively bid. And for our community, we contract for all of our services. So if you are someone that has services or something to offer, get on the bid list. We try to get the lowest responsible bidder, always to make sure that, our dollar is stretched as much as it can.
Okay, thank you. This one is for Mayor Weppler. What is the plan to reduce the utility tax, which disproportionately affects business? It was put into place at a time when our reserves were depleted and the economy was poor.
We have over time reduced the utility tax, which we initially instated when the economy was down. We have been looking at additional reductions. Unfortunately, not knowing what the state is going to do. Again, the state is talking about taking away 25% of our LGGF. They're talking about freezing property taxes. In order to keep a balanced budget right now, we did not do any further reductions this year. We can look at it again in 6 months, and we have been on a regular basis. One of the things we did when we passed those taxes was put in a sunset clause. So we have to, every year, look at those and say, do we still need that income? It's not something we passed and said it's going to be there forever. And so we look at it. It's a topic of discussion every year, and we're doing what we can to reduce it again, depending on what we find out from the state of Illinois.
Thank you. This question is for Mayor Lentz. What is Mundelein stance on the proposed shooting range?
So there's a proposed shooting range in the building right next to the transitional care lot that I just showed you there. And so the village doesn't have a position. It has yet to go through our Plan and Zoning Commission. They're still crystallizing their vision for what they want to have occur on that place. And so it hasn't reached the board yet and hasn't gone through the plan and zoning. The opinions are flying. It's a heavy topic on social media for sure. But it's still winding its way through the process, and they're still crystallizing exactly what they're going to do there.
Okay. And the last question I have is for you, Mayor Lentz, as well. How has the close election impacted your future goals of the village?
My future goals for the village haven't changed. I'm just trucking along, working with our trustees, building consensus, and pushing the pedal to the metal on redevelopment. We have a lot of projects that have been made public, several that are in the works that aren't yet ready to roll out, because the developers haven't really gotten to that place yet. But no, it's full steam ahead in my book. But no, thank you for asking.
Oh, that's great. Thanks to our mayors and all of our village officials. I know firsthand how difficult a village official job can be at certain times. But because of your dedication and love for your communities, we wouldn't have the 4 vibrant communities we have today. And thanks to everyone for attending. And a special thanks to Allstate Phoenix and to Doubletree for their lovely luncheon. Stick around afterwards if you want to take some photos. I know our photographers are here.
Can I say something when you're done?
Certainly.
You want me to say it now?
Go ahead.
I'd like to know, people that are in business, do you guys support bringing Route 53 to Lake County?
Well, that's a long discussion.
Just that. Okay. Because it's still rolling, just for those that don't know, and they're looking real seriously at doing the environmental. So, anyway, okay. That was a great show of hands.
Any parting comments? Okay.
Yeah,
go
okay.
ahead.
Realistically, Roger, I'd love to see Route 53. Realistically, I don't think it's going to go. Some of the mayors from Lake County did meet with Senator Duckworth over in North Chicago about 2-3 weeks ago. And one of the things I've asked her to look at is potentially expanding Route 83 with federal funds. 83 runs quite a bit along Route 53, pretty close. And for what Route 53 is going to get, a limited access 45-mile-an-hour roadway, I think our funds would be better spent putting overpasses and that on 83. The reason they aren't doing it is because the state has no money, but we've asked Senator Duckworth to look at federal funds for that, and hopefully, we can get some improvement in roads, even if it isn't Route 53.
Well,
Go ahead, Roger.
the reality is, the only one that's building anything is the Illinois Tollway. And the state, they haven't done a capital improvement plan in years, and that's sorely needed. And there was a TIP study done, transportation improvement study done simultaneously with Route 53. I guarantee you to do the existing roads properly, blowing up intersection, making them 5-lane cross sections, it would cost every bit as much or more than bringing in a Route 53. So I'm done on that time.
More than anything, thank you for being here today and enjoy the rest of the afternoon.